Let's show you what's going on when we go outside right now. All right, here's Sandia Peak. Now, what you'll notice here is some cloud cover early on, and then off in the distance here, top left of the screen, you're going to see a complex of storms starting to work their way in. These are sliding to the south of I-40 right now. We've got heavy rain with this possibility of some small hail, but I think the bigger concern here is the heavy rain. Now, if you go north of I-40 here, and you can see the rain line right here, not as much going on here, but it's kind of the way things work for us. And this is actually sort of a down day for thunderstorms across the state, but you can see we already have some going here in the city as this thing's sliding across. Now, one thing that we like in all of this is that this is moving fairly quickly at about 20 miles an hour off to the east. So that's going to help reduce some of the flooding concerns here. Meanwhile, as we pull out and you look across the rest of the north, we have a good complex of storms that has swept through Santa Fe and Las Vegas. Again, it's not the kind of situation where we're having major league flooding issues with all these storms, but there is at least a concern because of how waterlogged we are. Areas like Raton that have been so wet, seeing another round of storms here rolling off the east slopes of the Sangre de Cristo Mountains. Meanwhile, down to the southeast central sections around Vaughn, we're grabbing some storms north of Ruidoso. And if you get down to Sierra County, TRC, and north of Hatch, picking up some pretty good storms in western portions of especially Grant County, seeing some showers, and we're expecting a few more to start popping up here throughout the rest of the afternoon. Here's a look at the setup. Flash flood watches in the light green shaded areas, and in the dark green shaded areas, we have flood advisories in effect to include Guadalupe County and Torrance County, as well as south central sections of the state here to include Sierra and, of course, down in Doña Ana County as well. 83 degrees in the metro. Winds out of the south right now, 5 miles an hour with a thunderstorm overhead. 60s and 70s off to the north, 80s out to the east and down to the south, 80s and 90s. Looking at satellite and radar here, we've got some juice going here, and it's sliding up here across the state. Now, overnight, we had a weather disturbance that came through, and this thing did a very good job of drawing air up in the atmosphere and keeping the storms going during the overnight hours. That will not be the case tonight. We are going to see storms continue here through the evening and, let's say, late evening hours, but then we'll see a real reduction in the storms once we lose the heat of the day here. So once you get those scattered storms going in the afternoon, they start to lose their punch during the overnight hours. Tomorrow, though, the big story, a cold front comes in, and this thing serves to rejuice the atmosphere. Once again, it'll help storms across the northeast for tomorrow, and then it'll help storms statewide by Thursday with another good day of storms, and Friday looks pretty good as well. In fact, as we take a look at our super storm track, you can see things quiet down during the overnight hours, and then watch the northeast. It gets very interesting here once again for tomorrow. And again, not necessarily what we want to see because the northeast has been so wet, but you guys are going to continue to see a tremendous amount of rain, and then into Thursday, more widespread storms. 70s for the most part across southern Colorado. Scattered afternoon thunderstorms become more numerous by Thursday into Friday. Over to the northwest, not a bad day for rain yesterday. Some isolated showers will be possible throughout the area for tomorrow as we wait for the front, which really shows its impact coming up in that area by Thursday. 89 Silver City, 96 in Deming, 98 in TRC. Tomorrow's not going to be as big a deal storm-wise, but Thursday, Friday, Saturday look good for numerous storms. Southeast, scattered afternoon thunderstorms, and that chance of showers rolls on Friday and Saturday with temperatures just in the mid-80s. 70s across the northeast. You guys have been soaked recently, and as you can tell, that's going to continue. Same deal over the northern mountains, where we're likely to see a very wet setup here through the next 7 days. Out to the east mountains, scattered afternoon storms, 87 in Edgewood and 85 out in Cedar Crest, and finally right here in the metro. We'll top it out tomorrow in the high 80s, low 90s, depending on where you are. Gusty afternoon winds. The reason I mentioned that is because as we push that cold front in, we're going to crank up those winds through the canyon up to 40 miles an hour. But that will set the table to add more moisture to the mix by Thursday. And that shot of showers goes up.
Okay. Thank you, Mark.